Is it not working? I'm going to try and WhatsApp it to you and see if that
Yeah.
can work for
What?
Oma. Um,
Yeah. I'm also doing the same, trying to do the same thing so that, because I have Oma's WhatsApp. Yeah, 1 second. I should
I
have given
do wish
her.
they had an option for WhatsApp because in the webinar settings, it just has an email sort of.
Yeah, yeah, right. No, no, I have WhatsApped it to Uma. I should have given you her WhatsApp number. I thought, it is just overloading you with so many things. Okay. I hope she's able to join. Yeah. Sorry about this. You know, 1 second. Oh, yeah. Oh, Emily, thanks for understanding. Yeah, for us, it's morning time. It's only 11:30 a.m. And yeah, you're right. Zoom. Yeah, I mean, I come from an IT background and stuff, of course. Yeah, but never mind. Yeah, Zoom has so many limitations. Uh, Actually, you know what? Sometimes I mean, I know we're discussing Zoom instead of mental health, but yes, all these things affect our mental health. Okay. Yeah. The point about, these things is that actually, I think during COVID lockdowns is when Zoom really zoomed in its market share and usage and so-called forced popularity. Okay. And they deliberately say it's free, but they make so many features, you know, so many features paid. So yeah. No, actually, Shoma, instead of pan listening. No, she's not able to use that link because that requires registration and a login and everything. So we tried all these options. Anyway, uh, oh, Uma's here. Hi, Uma. Welcome.
Oh, hi. Hi, Oma. I'm so happy to have you. Sorry about Zoom being an absolute pain. I am so sorry. I sent it multiple times. You're
No,
on
no, no. It's
camera.
okay. It's okay. Ha, ha. Uma, if possible, please, turn on your video. No stress, but if possible, it'd be nice. Okay.
Oma's video is on, Ritash. I think it's the mic that's off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. For
Yeah,
me, it's showing.
yeah,
Hi.
sorry,
Hi.
sorry.
Oh,
No
no problem.
problem.
I
Mhm.
am
Yeah,
sorry about Zoom. I think
it's okay,
Ritash
no
knows that
problem,
I am
no
an
problem.
amateur, but I did try my ultimate best. I am
No.
Sorry.
so glad to have you on board. I will go through the introductions again, Oma, so that we sort of can have you and Ritash both introduce yourselves. So I'll go through it again. First off, I'm so grateful and honored to have both of you here and holding this space once again. So sorry about the technology and Zoom issues. I wish it was more accessible. So today's conversation is about transforming how we think about community health, centering peer support, lived experience, and care systems that are affirmative. And I would like to once again introduce our wonderful panelists. We have Oma And Uma is the director of Jeeva organization. She's also a poet and mental health support provider, working to promote healing and belonging through community care. And we also have Ritash, who's co-founder of Rang Foundation and supporting co-founder of Intersex Human Rights India Network, as well as a peer counselor, writer, research advisor, and trainer. Thank you both for joining us and for the work you do to strengthen collective well-being. So I will hand it over to Ritash and Oma to introduce themselves and take the conversation from here. And it's something free-flowing. And yeah, I'm just so happy to have you both on board, and I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you so much. And in Kannada, the local language of Karnataka, and where Bangalore is the capital and the state we live, we say Dhanyavada. But Shukriya is also very common in India. And I am not going to add. This is probably the longest introduction. I feel very, reserved, much as I'm an extrovert, to say too many things about myself, except that I am gender fluid and I'm neurodivergent queer. Okay. And wonderful across so many time zones and with all the unnecessary technological limitations, I must say, we are able to be here. Uma and I have been friends for such a long time. Uma is a trans woman and a very patient and a very committed and a very resilient community leader. I affectionately call her mom, mummy, because it doesn't matter that she's younger than me, but she's been like a mom to me in so many ways. I learned Kannada from her and so many more things. And yeah, so and today is World Mental Health Day. I would like to say greetings to everybody on that. It's still morning time in India, but we know mental health of so many people in the world is anything but, you know, uh, anywhere near even stable. Okay. And I am no different from that. Okay. In fact, I must say that I went into mental health peer support, uh, qualification, certification for two reasons. One was a very selfish reason that I was told by other mental health support providers that I'll be good at it. But I thought it'll also give me healing, you know. So you learn, you heal, you share. Yeah. And the most important, apparently, I have learned from having severe mental health issues when Uma was one of my strongest supporters at that period in 2018 and 19. That apparently mental health is not something which should be stigmatized in India and most parts of South Asia where many of us are from. Stigma is the first thing. They support the word mental and use it in such a derogatory form to call it, like mad, though the word mad is being reclaimed, but there's so much stigma. And Uma, I want to bring you into this conversation. Okay. I hope we have introduced you well enough. I know there's so much more to say about you because also, but Uma, in terms of, yeah, so first of all, Uma, it's you want to add anything more about yourself uh, or we will go into the topic?
Yeah, we can go into that topic because
Okay,
only
okay.
introduction is ourselves is too much time it will take, no?
Okay, yeah. This warm smile of Uma itself is so reassuring, not just for me, but for so many of us. Okay. Just a couple of minutes before you joined, I remember how I think the COVID lockdown, especially the first lockdown, which came about on everybody like so suddenly. Okay. Nobody was prepared for it and all of that. Okay. But I remember that, that mental health support line, which you have been running for so many years, I think, no, almost 10 years now, Ma, you've been having it,
Yeah.
right? People used to call you at all times for anything and everything. Yeah. Uh, so how did you feel about it? You know, people who are listening, please, put any questions, comments. We are deliberately looking at life situations to bring it and to demystify how mental health can be for us and how it can be challenging for us peer support providers also. But anyway, yeah, if you want to take this as an example, Uma, and talk a little bit about it.
Yeah. Firstly, I thanks to Huda and Ritash, uh, given a great opportunity to um, just dialogue about the mental health issues, and also today's mental health day. Um, yeah, this is very important to at least we can dialogue about the issues. That is one thing. Yeah. See, when people are calling us, they are expecting someone is there for me. When we receive the call, at least we have to listen what they wanted to say and what they wanted to talk with us. First, we have to listen, and we have to like react after that. That is very important thing. And in my experience, first I will listen what they wanted to expecting from us, and also I have my own points, like where are they from, or what is their name, and why they called me and how they got my number. All these things I can talk to them, and then slowly I will listen what they are saying. That's the main thing we have to do. And once we like what their uh, situation, if once we understand, then we can react, like react in the sense how they can solve themselves. We have to interact this kind of situation. And also if it is not handling ourselves, like myself, uh, I request, like, I don't cut the call. I cut it to my other colleague, and you one day you can take the time and come to the office or a psychiatrist place. I request them like that, and this is the way I will handle the phone calls, or personally, if anyone to talk with me, I will do regular kind of things. And many of them, like as a LGBTQI community plus community, they're very different kind of problem is facing. Like example, uh, their family was forcing to get married. In this situation, what uh, uh, crisis like mental health issues will come. This situation, sometimes we connect with both the things, like crisis and mental health issues. And that time, it's very big challenge to handle for the kind of situation. And also if they need any kind of, definitely support them, like if they need some kind of uh, professional psychiatrist, if they want, we will support. And also if they are in the critical situation, if the situation will cross to the crisis kind of things, we will request um, women's movement and other movement can link it to that situation. This kind of work we are doing it. And also, when Ritas is mentioning about the in the COVID situation, many people was they struggle lot of many community members, they didn't disclose their identity. This COVID situation, all the time they are spending at home, they are very depressed, and also sometimes their sexuality also family was identified. uh, that time people are face a lot of problems. And also, our community people, some of the members, they are living with HIV. In this situation, they're not getting proper medicines because all the things was closed. This time people are they face lot of problem, like example, not getting proper medicine, and also not getting proper nutrition foods. All this kind of problems people are faced. And also sometimes people have some side effects. If they get side effects also, they cannot go to the hospitals. And this kind of problems people are faced. And also, in the in our helpline, and in my experience, some of the community members, they are very confused about their identities. That also will come, like if I'm gay, if I'm transgender, I don't know my feelings like this kind of calls also we are receiving. And according to that, I will explain about sex, sexuality, gender. In this, when I explain now, you can choose your identity in this, where you will fit. This kind of situation, I will handle and supporting for the community. Actually, I'm not a psychiatrist, but as a community, and I'm working with LGBTQI community past 24 years, I can understand my community problems, and I can understand somehow how I can deal with my community. That's why I'm regularly supporting for the mental health situations. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Amma. I have a question, if that's okay, or maybe you've been doing incredible work, first off. My
Yeah.
question is 24 years doing this work, and also I'm guessing that there's a lot of emotional labor that comes with this as well, right? And navigating so many things within those 24 years, have you seen some improvement or shift in how people feel towards uh, sharing and accepting and embracing their identities in the past 24 years? Have you seen any kind of shift within that through your experience and even through your contributions with the organizations you've been working with, and even in Jeeva organization itself? I'm so curious to know more about that, if you'd be happy to share that.
Yeah. In my experience, like I said, no, 24 years, I worked with in different uh, domain. Like initially, when I started work with LGBTQI community, that time, like I am work as a field worker, like support, like going to the field, giving information about their
Umi, if your sometimes your video
and
is freezing,
distributing
you
condoms
can switch off video for a few seconds. Sorry.
and build a leadership kind of. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, thank you. Yeah, please continue. Sorry about that, but yeah.
yeah. Okay. This kind of work I started, and also I got many opportunity to explore myself, understanding and learning and growing myself. uh, this kind of work I done when we started Jeeva. It's in 2012. Then only I started supporting for the mental health issues. um, After 2012, yeah, uh, many kind of uh, experiences I got, and also we publish uh, three publications about the mental health issues. One is like when we are doing the counseling or supporting for the mental health issues. Some of the case studies we collected and we published, because that is very important to understand about the community situation, uh, uh, to uh, mental health professionals, psychiatrists, and other doctors, because many medical professionals, they don't know about the LGBT issues. They don't know about what is sex, sexuality, gender, and this kind of situation, how they can treat community. No, that's why at least they can understand. For this booklet, we thought like that we bring out that. Now we distribute many books to the mental health practitioners, and we are looking at, yeah, it's very good result we are looking at. Like, many people are giving good feedback, and also they can understand, and they can also treating uh, good manner. I, that kind of changes we are looking at. And also other side, from the community also, we have some kind of taboo in the sense for the mental health. When we are talking about within the community, like, our mental health also is very, very important. We have to take care about it. When we talking about this issue with the community also, they will like say that, oh, no, 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 I'm not a mental. I am the normal person. This is not related to us, they will say that. But when they are sharing their problems, it is directly linking to the mental health issues. Like, example, my partner was giving so much of problem. He was eating, he was not coming to the properly house, and he was getting marriage, many things like. That's why I'm very nervous, and that's why I feel I wanted to have the drinks. This kind of uh, feelings they will share, but it is directly linked to the mental health issue, but they are not accept. That is also is there. That's why Jeeva, we are creating a awareness about uh, uh, mental health issue, like, what is mental health, how we have to take care of mental health. This kind of awareness also we are giving it. And yeah, we are looking at, somehow we are looking the changes. Like, some people, they will uh, directly calling and talking. And also, as a Jeeva, we work in 5 districts in Karnataka. We taken it to 2 community members who has some kind of skill about the mental health issue, basic mental health uh, issue. We find 12 community members and we train them basic mental health training. They can understand, they're regularly with the community, no? They're regularly going to the community and they're have the link, good link with the community. If we give the training, at least they can understand community basic mental health things, and they can link it to the, sometimes a community is facing mental health issue, they can link it to the Jeeva. This kind of thought we had, and we trained them, and now that work is like, we train them and they're practicing in their field and they're supporting community members. This kind of changes we are looking at.
That's
Maybe you got the um, your answer.
Yes, I did, Uma. Thank you so much. And it's wonderful work you're doing. And I can see including the community and getting the community to be active
Yeah.
within these issues is, I think, the most important thing rather than sort of just imposing things, but people from the community understanding the issues. I also see that Emily's written a comment, 24 years rock star status. And Emily also asks, how have you managed your own mental health with regards to managing all of this? And like Ritash said, that you've been taking care of so many members within communities. How do you take care of yourself?
Yeah, that is very important thing here. As a community and as a activist and as a um, working with the community member, our mental health also, it's very important. Yeah. Um, See, many times I will also face my own mental health problems, and what I will do is I will do sometimes I will do chota mota tips, like example, listen the music, and sometimes what I will do is I will go to the shopping malls, roaming around the shopping mall and come back. This kind of small thing I will do. And also regularly what I will do is uh, whatever challenges and problem is come up for my own, I will talk to my own counselor. I have a one good friend. The person was very comfortable to the, it good friend in the sense like they have community knowledge. uh, I will go with them and I will take the counseling also. This is my uh, uh,
Thank you so much, Uma. And I love that you said chota mota because I think that's the way all of us, when it comes to taking care of ourselves, trying small ways, apna khayal rakhna, to take care of ourselves. And this is so meaningful. I'm so glad to have you here. And yeah, thank you. Ritash says chota mota, small, small, Hindi, Urdu. It means doing sort of small things. And picking up from here, I would like Ritesh to also sort of bring in their experiences and their thoughts on this topic as well. So, do you want to pick up from here, Ritesh?
Yes, I was planning to. Thank you so much. And, like Uma said, I mean, Uma said so many things, and it's wonderful the way everyone's engaging here. Always, I like, small groups because the connections become intimate, and the participation is, people are interested, intrigued. Okay. Yeah. So, why we also are prioritizing peer counseling is, like, for instance, yeah, yeah, Dorothy, thank you for that. Yeah. I realize that, there may be a few people who may not know, but otherwise, I know when Huda and I chat, half the time we are using Hindi Urdu words. Yeah. And with Umi also, it's the same. Okay. I keep saying Umi because we've called Uma as Umi affectionately for so many years. Okay. But their official name is Uma. So we respect that too. Yeah. So, as we were talking, providing peer support has emerged, okay, definitely, not only in the queer, trans, LGBTQIA+ plus communities, but in so many other vulnerable, people say marginalized, disadvantaged, but it's also about vulnerability, right? These things are not like black and white. Well, being queer people, there's nothing ever black and white or binary about us. But anyway, um, so the vulnerabilities are the ones which we do not want to expose, okay, or we think we can suppress. And then, how long, I mean, we've been putting balloons in the emojis just a few seconds ago. And that's a classic example of, yeah, too less air would flatten it. Too much air will also make it explode, right? And that's exactly what happens. And when a human being explodes, literally, not just verbally, but internally, you are just chewing yourself up, or you're getting chewn up from within. But the people around you, whether for some people it's biological family, for some people it's friends, but for some of us, it's beyond that. We sometimes it's a role which comes to us organically as community support providers. Many people would actually, feel, oh my gosh, this person whom we looked up to, okay, uh, is almost collapsing. Okay, what about us, right? So for them, it is not just that they're feeling insecure or more vulnerable because of, say, age, lesser experience in life per se, and also they're still figuring out, or self acceptance is actually the toughest and the longest. Yeah, about their gender identity, sexuality, and so many other things, and partially open, partly out, whatever. Bottom line is, so they feel, so people around us, uh, who we have not created the dependency, but somehow it becomes, because, as much as we say self-reliance and all, we know also, to beyond a point, if each of us needs each other, right? So it's also a sense of responsibility for us. It's not a burden, okay, it's a responsibility that we have towards the community, to sort of lead by example, that yes, we understand each other, we support each other, but also create boundaries and take a step back, take a few steps back if we are not able to handle it from within. Okay. Because otherwise, you are sending a message as though you are forever available and forever strong. Okay, fine. And when suddenly this implosion happens, you don't know sometimes how to react. Someone around you doesn't know what to do. And the point is, whatever you've built up over so many years, support systems, care, collective care, you know, uh, community based responsibilities and everything, suddenly seems to go haywire. Okay. And we know, unfortunately, so-called professional mental health care, however queer affirming it may be, however it might, in fact, I know a psychiatrist, a recent graduate who's also queer herself, said that there's a difference between queer affirming and queer friendly. And that is not just about terminology, it has a lot of meaning in it. Okay. And let us say, not only queer, I mean, I don't want to, extrapolate it too much, because I do not have the lived experiences of being of, an oppressed caste, yeah, or from a particular religion. I mean, I am agnostic and questioning theists, so religion and I are very far apart, but I respect people's religious beliefs. So, but I am a person with invisible disabilities or invisibilized disabilities. So the point is that if somewhere we have not created, that nowadays, for a long time, the buzzword has been alternative, alternate. But what are these alternatives? Who is available to be an alternative? What are these support systems? If those are also not systematically created, okay, then it will become like a COVID situation all the time. Okay, right? I mean, there has been irreversible damage on so many fronts for so many communities, even after the first lockdown. Okay. I am saying lockdown specifically because that was a turning point in many of our lives, and specifically, definitely queer lives, to the extent that sometimes there used to be this dark humor kind of thing going on. Oh, you see, we queer trans people have it bad all the time. Now everybody else is having bad. They're not laughing at them or with them. But let us try to reach out. In fact, among the first responders, without any nudging or pressure whatsoever, were working class trans communities across India who were reaching out not just to our own community people, but they were going much beyond, yeah, with very little resources. Oh, poor people with disabilities, somebody who is Dalit, somebody who's low income minority Muslim, somebody who's a migrant worker, yeah, because within India we have internal migration also, yeah. So the point is that yes, that was a fantastic example of how first responders, how peer support not only is valid and necessary, it is almost life saving. Okay. And with the escalating costs and the minimal availability, even if cost was not an issue, the minimal availability of queer mental health support, professional ones or queer friendly ones, then where else do you go? And Uma talked a lot about trust. Okay, somebody is calling you because not only that they may not know you personally, they may know of you, but they trust that you will at least listen. Okay, listen without interruption, without judgment, and most importantly, empathy, because you may have been or you are also in that kind of situation with certain differences. That's all. Okay. So that is why um, peer support now also we are getting training for that. And like I said, I just joke about it sometimes, saying that, oh, it's a selfish interest that I took it up or something. But in a way, sometimes that is the way we convince. Like Uma talked about, the 12 community counselors who are being trained through Jeeva. Jeeva, by the way, means life. Okay. So I remember Uma and I brainstormed, and a few others, who are advisors, board members in Jeeva also brainstormed. Yeah. That how do we, what do you say? Not just attract, but how do you convince people that peer mental health support is crucial, is life saving, but also beneficial to the people who are providing that, because it is coming from lived experience. It is saying that you are also healing, and that vulnerability can also be shared and can be reused to sorry, not reused, you can spin it on its head, okay. And I will stop here, Huda, but I hope this has made sense as to why peer support is not necessarily a replacement for professional mental health care, but is a vital cog in the wheel. In fact, it is a starting point. Okay. And the other point which Uma said, linking to trust and what I was talking about, lived experience, is that trust not only comes from somebody willing to listen and show empathy and no judgment, but also keep it confidential. Right. In the sense, because the flip side of this whole thing about stigma, already we are a highly stigmatized community. Okay. On top of that, if somebody gets to know, and when we are, however large the population is, however many queer people, trans people, by the way, there's a survey for trans people happening in our state, but people are not coming out and giving, for obviously, unsurprising reasons of stigma. So what happens is, whether there are a few hundreds of thousands, whether there are crores or millions, the point is, because we are a highly connected community, okay, and so we'll be like, oh my gosh, the word will get around that not only I am queer, but I'm also having mental health issues. So all these actually add up to our already unstable mental health and the reluctance to seek support. And that is where peer support is playing a major role. Okay, yeah, we will continue.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Ritash. And I think I noted some key words. You mentioned it can be life-saving. And while there might be a responsibility to community, it's also important to sometimes take steps back, establish some boundaries, and maybe take care of oneself. It might be challenging to even do this, if I'm not mistaken. So, what I'm wondering, Ritash, is in your experience, when you are trying to balance responsibility to community, but also taking care of oneself and establishing boundaries, is there a messiness, or is there some sort of, are there challenges to it when trying to do that? And is it a step, do qadam aage, do qadam piche? Is it like a little bit of a dance where you have to learn how to balance that? Is it sort of like a lifelong journey? I would be keen to sort of know that, or what your take is on that, Ritash, and perhaps maybe Oma can also add later, taking from you.
Okay, for me the keyword in this is dance, because I was dancing till 1 o'clock this morning, 1:30. I very rarely do this, but when I do it, I let go. This I feel is the best therapy for my lower back problems. Okay, but actually, you know what? It is a dance. It's a crazy dance. I'm going to remember. Emily, thanks for noticing and appreciating the balloon analogy. And I'm going to use this thing because, as I said, sometimes over time I've realized that whether we call it dark humor, wry humor, whatever it is, joking on myself, it is one of my coping mechanisms. Okay. It does not mean we are, minimizing the problem or, criticizing it or something. Okay. Having said that, you know what, like Oma said, yeah, uh, people will call and you need to, how it might seem brutal to the person who's calling, but because these helplines, sometimes it's just our personal numbers or personal contact information. In fact, I have literally been bitten hard and learned the wrong way, right way, whichever way, that it is not good to, however much you care for the community and however much you want to give back, because you've been in that situation and somebody reached, I mean, you could reach out to somebody or held your hand. It is that don't publish every personal contact information of yours. Okay, that is one thing. Other thing is, ask the basic questions, because over time and a little bit because of training, we are able to understand if this person, what is their level. We have to assess, right? Because there's always a demand supply big gap. So what happens is that you don't want people, because sometimes people are asking certain basic questions, which itself okay is valid, because they're still understanding their sexuality, their gender. They say, am I trans enough? How can I be more queer and all that stuff? To tell them that hey, listen, don't have to pressurize. There is no role model or benchmark for these kind of things. Having said that, people do not sometimes stop there. I am sorry to say this, but sometimes people think you can also be like a hookup service, because they'll be like, or if not that, talk at length about their sexual experiences. Yes, I am ace or asexual, but as a counselor, yes, I will not bring in that part of me being, not having sexual attraction and all that, but I have other emotions. But I will not bring that. But I will not be a sex therapist there. Okay. Or I will not at any cost introduce them to anybody else in the community, even if it is a presumably genuine reason. Okay. And the other important thing is, again, we talked about boundaries. Boundaries is also about how many times, what time. Okay. And most of the time we are giving, almost all the time, Uma and I are giving pro bono, yeah. And it's finally a service, and we're giving it sometimes in multiple languages. Okay. But that does not mean that, because in an indirect way, you're making them dependent on you, right? Even when your doctor prescribes an SOS pill, they say SOS can happen a couple of times in a gap of 24 hours. So don't take the pill every 1 hour, right? So that is how we set and draw boundaries. But finally, peer support, mental health care is about developing coping mechanisms and becoming self-reliant slowly but surely. Okay, so over to Uma. I think we are a little short on time, but we might give a few more minutes,
Yeah,
because I know, Huda, you have another thing.
yeah, my I think meeting will be around let me check but I would like Oma to take over. If it's a few minutes over, it's completely fine, because this is such an important talk and I want to make sure that that platform is provided. And I think Oma can also take over from what Ritash said and what Oma's thoughts are, especially with regard to what you said about making them dependent, and also like you mentioned that I suppose sometimes people can be how do I put it, overly sort of interested, as you mentioned about did you mention something like a connecting them with people, or a sort of hookup service or something of that sort?
Yeah.
These are such muddy waters to navigate. And Dorothy also says, I thought we just started. It's already time to go, sad emoji. It's okay. I will try to keep this going as long as I can, and I'll sort of flag when I need to leave, because this is so important. I also wanted to say, Oma, that there have been some comments made by Dorothy that I wish we have this kind of support even in our hometown, because coming from a conservative Christian background, there are lots of teens and young adults who fall into the loop of depression because of their sexuality. And once people found out, they started bullying them and so on. And what's worse is that the church tries to pray the gay away. LOL, what nonsense. But yeah, we definitely need this kind of support. So there's a lot that I'm putting onto Oma, but Oma, take on whatever you can, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. See, One is non-acceptance. As a there is, if I'm a gay, I'm a lesbian. In the society, there is non-acceptance is still, it's a very biggest problem for the community. If the family know about our identity, family also not accept. They will also like um, starting conversion therapy. Conversion therapy in the sense like they will take the that person to the temple, and they will say some kind of god make proper person. This kind of myths have the in the society. And also, sometimes they will take their children's to the psychiatrist, like this my child was behave like this, you have to do something. And also in the psychiatrist also, there is still, there is some kind of non-understanding, and uh, like they know medic, they don't follow the medical ethics also. Like they will start giving like, you don't behave like this. They started counseling them, and they will give some kind of medications. Still it is going on. But in India, there is one Tamil Nadu is the state. The Tamil Nadu state um, High Court, they given a judgment. Conversion therapy is not, no one have to do. This kind of chota mota legal support, like small legal support, and community people challenging for this kind of issues. At least we are getting it some kind of supporting system. That is one point. And other point of view is like, uh, parents should accept uh, like what they, if they are not accepting, people will face lot of stick. Also,
Sorry, Oma. I'm sorry
it's
to,
it's
it's
part of
breaking.
mental health. That's why when it's come to the other health in the sense, other health issues also. If we go to the hospitals, particularly trans women, they are looking at like uh, differently. In the zoo, one animal will, they will keep in the bone, they will look at like that. In that time we feel like already we are sick in personal health issues. People like looking like this, we felt very bad. That's why many community members, they are not going to taking treatment from the government hospitals. And also, some of the community members, they will like the finding one friendly doctors. It's a very um, less number, like one or two doctors they're finding in the city. All the community member, they will go there only getting the treatment. This kind of situation also going on. But generally, in my demand was a medical syllabus. At least they have to bring out LGBTQI community issues, like our health issues. They have to bring out the in their curriculum, then only it can be like we can look at some kind of changes and acceptance. I demand that, and this is my this thing. If I left out anything, please add, Ritash.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, some interesting questions, because of these things also don't have very straightforward answers. I will quickly, uh, this very quick. Yeah. So, as we said, that connecting to what Uma just said, and also to Emily's questions, and also, Huda and Dorothy's questions, unfortunately, uh, you know, there are actually, if you ask me, because regularly, as Uma said, we work, the more experienced a doctor is, huh? And especially endocrinologists, psychiatrists are the ones whom we deal with regularly. I'm not exaggerating, across this country, and I think it can extend to some parts of South Asia also. I don't know across specializations if we can find 100 doctors who are even trying to just humanize us is a big achievement. Okay. It's a shame, but this is the sordid reality of 2025 after so many affirmative judgments coming from the various state level high courts and the Supreme Court of India. Okay. That does not translate into reality because we all know that whether the Indian Constitution essentially considered the world's largest and the most inclusive and the most detailed constitution, okay, to whom we salute the great Dalit leader Baba Sahib, because it also came from his experiences of untouchability, okay, and that plus all the WHO declarations, the Indian Association of Clinical Psychologists, Psychiatrists, American Psychiatric Association, the ICD. I know I'm deliberately using some medical references. All these, plus the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everybody saying that we are all humans first. That seems to be the biggest problem, and cis heteronormativity, patriarchy, all these are so closely interlinked because somehow my sexuality, my gender, me existing as I am, if I am not automatically criminalized, I am a threat. Okay. Because of somebody's insecurity. Okay. And all this, of course, impacts our livelihood, our education, our jobs, our ability to rent spaces. If rent has to be given for our homes or offices, offices are also often, somebody's home which is not used and which they are willing to give, which, if not condescendingly, many times they'll be like, oh, you can't afford this space, or they will quote 1.5 times rent higher. And they will want to know what are all the activities you will do. By activities, we know that they are meaning sex work. They are meaning, time and again, it has been said that HIV is not transmitted through breath, through touch, through every body fluid. It is not transmitted. But even doctors are stigmatizing us. Okay. In India, my latest article, which I wrote, is about how shamefully a trans woman, a bisexual man, a gay man cannot donate blood despite all the very reliable, very rapid pre-donation testing mechanisms, because they presume that HIV every person will have, every queer person will have, every trans person will have, but though it has also been proved medically and evidentially that actually much of the HIV transmission is happening through cis men. This is not to denounce cis men or stigmatize them, definitely not. But to say that just because you are some identity and you're open about it, right? We believe in ethics, so we are disclosing our identity before, donating blood. And it is life saving, and again, there's such a shortage of it, right? So, all these also affect our mental health because automatically it's a stigma, right? So, that is the thing. Plus, religion, you know, democracy is not, separating religion and governance, church and the state, or, temple and the state, mosque and the state, or whichever, depending on the dominant religion of that country, right? And that is again being used as a mechanism, okay, to automatically stigmatize and criminalize. The shame, the shame, the shame, it starts at birth, and it seems to, I'm not exaggerating when I say that sometimes trans people's bodies can't be buried or burnt in the, so that is the thing, okay. Now, coming to how obviously, it's basic um, logic that everything of this affects mental health, and it's very easy to say, why do you take it upon you? Yeah, right. That is one major point. And also, many times what is happening is people think that, you call it affirmative action, you call it, for instance, government of Karnataka has given, 5 years ago, horizontal reservation in government jobs, all these things, okay. But it is not translating into reality, okay. Who is doing that? Regular checks. That is it really the follow-ups? And you present the follow-up, they'll be like, oh, you're always whining. You're always complaining. We gave you so much, right? Like as if. But if you really gave us so much, why did it take more than 150 years for decriminalization of our community? That IPC section 377, which incidentally came to British India, so it is very well and alive and kicking in Pakistan. It has not been completely kicked out in India also. Okay, because it has only been read down, it has not been revoked. From 1861 to 2018, it took so long for them to just read it down. Okay. So, and for instance, and I'll not give just another example and end with this, that I'm deliberately linking other things because we have to look at these linkages. Okay. That, the safe spaces, I'm also responding to Emily's question here, are, why do they have to be limited to our organizational offices, okay, or somebody's homes, or just a few feminist organizations? Yeah, everything is otherwise by default an unsafe space, okay. It's sad that it is still most places, most public spaces are unsafe for cishet women, so it's much worse for us. All right. The point is, this again impacts mental health because all the time you are in that flee, fight, or freeze mode, right? How long can you be in that? You can't live your entire life like that. Okay. So this is the, all this I think is still a snapshot. Something like this we can keep covering, we can keep discussing and conversing about from time to time. And Huda has my contacts, and also Uma's contacts. So I can Huda has already shared them, but if required, you can mail us back, or
Yeah. And we can share the email addresses as well, Ritash. Perhaps you
yeah,
can.
sure.
I'm
And
sorry, I've been actually sending my responses to the hosts and panelists and not to the attendees. I'm so sorry. Please do share your email addresses or contacts, Oma and Ritash, so that people who do want to reach out and connect. I also wanted to sort of summarize or pick up on some things that have been said. Oma talked about parents and the lack of acceptance from parents, and Shoma actually made a very important point. I would like to know from Oma that since one of the reasons is the unacceptance from parents and family, what is being done to make them understand first, to get support from the family, And then my own mother has actually joined on board and says, I think making parents to understand is the first and most difficult step. Only through educating them with gentleness is essential. So, Oma, I know that you might have to maybe limited time, but I would love to know what you have to say. How do we get the parents on board and to become accepting? Because even within the Pakistani community, within the Muslim community, it is so difficult to get parents to accept their children's identities and sexualities. How does that happen? And is there anything you would like to add to that?
Yeah. You only said it's too difficult to accept family. Yeah, that is really, it is true. True in the sense that's a reality. See, one point is family, it is not only from the family acceptance. It's a in the society already they have big um, um, what you call it, um, they fix in their own things, like male should be like this, women should be like this. Already they are following this kind of thing. They are not thinking about sexuality, gender. We have other gender, we have to accept. This kind of in the society attitude was following from many years. We don't know. This kind of following things is there now. Uh, like when child been born, their parents said like, you're a boy, you have to be like behave like a boy. See this kind of orientation in small children's will get. That's the society, whole society is getting that impression. All the society is not like accepting, like in their mind was fixed in our family members. They will when we are growing, their impression was fixed in our mind. That is the society was following. First, society is not accepting now. Family was very scared about society. Sometimes maybe family will accept, but family suddenly what they think in my neighbors, if if I accept my my son as a women, if that my daughter is coming to going to my house, neighbors what they will think, what they will talk. This kind of uh, um, Rita's bike NLTV
Hmm?
scared, this kind of scared
Scared, fear.
yeah, fear and scared of the family. That's why many family they will accept, but they will say in the midnight you can come to our house, and in the early morning you have to wake up and go back to your whatever place. They will say like that. This kind of situation family is not accepting, but somehow we have to educate the family. Like now we have many families accepted uh, because they have some kind of dignity also. Like example, they will have care about like dignity kind of things. Like if I am begging and doing sex work, that is also biggest problem to accept family. If I am doing dignified work, like example, if I get a job in the multinational company, if am working in the company, somehow maybe they can accept. this kind of situation going on, but it is taking time to understand family to their uh, children's, and yeah, family need education. And also, for that, here in India, we will have conducting the uh, family meetings. Like example, already who has accepted their children's, they will come together and they are sharing. If newly some family should accept, slowly we can connect with the family how they can accept their children's, and they will share the stories, and this kind of small things going on. But still it should be uh, more powerfully, we have to work for that.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and also my English is very basic.
Your
Or if
English
I
is
did,
great. And
if if I
it's
did any grammar mistake, please.
oh
Uh,
नहीं नहीं
excuse
Oma
me.
tension की बात नहीं है. It's actually it's wonderful, and I think the wonderful thing is that we speak different languages, so um your English is absolutely perfect. There's not a worry to have. In
Thank
fact,
you.
I'm just so glad to have you on board. And I think maybe in the future, if you and Ritash have more time to share, because I understand that with busy schedules and the work you do, I'd be more than
Yeah.
happy to sort of open the platform more. Kartiki actually said that this was such an interesting and important conversation. Coming from Marathi culture and Maharashtra, India, where open discussions about sexuality and mental health are almost non-existent, it's inspiring to see the work you're doing. So thank you, Oma and Ritash, and I'm so glad to have you on board. And Ritash, I have reshared some of the links because they were being shared with the hosts and panelists, just the three of us. So I made sure that it's shared with all the attendees. Now, I would like if Oma, you and Ritash are okay for attendees, if any of you would like to speak or write, I can also open and allow all the attendees to share anything that they would like to sort of if they would like to share, and if not, feel free not to or type into the chat. So yeah,
Yeah,
before we
one question I saw there.
yeah.
There is any safe space for the people can dance with you like that? Yeah, we have DIC in the sense drop-in centers. Some of the NGOs there leading that. Drop-in center community people can come and they can dance and they can play the small games, and they can make up this kind of safety space we have. And as Jeeva, we have a space people can come and they can sit and they can relax, and they can make up their own, all this kind of things we have community safety space.
Thank you so much, Oma. I was also wondering, you did mention some of the publications too. I have shared the Jeeva organization website as well with everyone. But if in the future you would like for Sahara Sisters to share any of those
I
publications,
will mail you the PDF file to you.
okay, great. So we would love to sort of share that as well. Are there any questions or comments anybody has or anyone wants to share before we wrap up? And I hope in the future, Oma and Ritash, if we can sort of maybe do another session as well, because it does seem like people are interested. Um, and obviously at your time convenience and without the complications of Zoom and time zones, इस दफा हम लोग like थोड़ा सा properly organize कर लेंगे. तो if anyone has questions, does anyone want to say anything? Anyone has comments? Feel free to. And yeah, maybe we can wrap up if there are no comments or questions. Okay, so It says, no questions, just very grateful to bear witness to beautiful sharing and bravery. And thank you for the session. It's just the beginning. There's a lot to learn. That is true. It is just the beginning. In fact, I think Oma and Ritash have brought up so many important points. I remember, Ritash, I also wrote this down that you mentioned not being able to be buried or burned, and also how it can be a trouble to even find places to rent. And then having this notion of sex activities attached. These are really important things to talk about because these are essentially basic human rights to live, to housing, to safety and well-being. And these things can affect mental health if they're not there. So I think perhaps maybe in the next sessions we can also unpack, depending on how you and Oma feel, some of these topics too. And I do have many questions we can learn more. Yeah, Emily says that. So if anyone wants to write the questions or wants to unmute and speak, do let me know. Happy to do that. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. My microphone only just popped up. That was my dog flapping her ears. First of all, thank you so much, Huda and everybody. That was really incredibly powerful and so instructive. That was, I don't really know if I have words for that. That was completely unexpected. And my first thought is that even in Australia and in Adelaide, and being a disability rights advocate, we don't even recognise properly. Today is, Mental Health Awareness Day, so it's my special day, or properly address transgender and queer rights in Australia very well, and especially not now. So I just find your bravery and your willingness to speak is just really bloody cool. It's fantastic. And I'd love to learn more. I would love to know the spaces and sort of how you find moments of expression, even beyond sort of like the really hard things. I'd like to also know the fun spots, where you find your communities, and where how you just have fun and dance and feel joyous, and and I guess within that joyousness there is also that fear that there is going to be that pushback, which although in Australia and other Western cultures there is obvious fear, and we had that with Stonewall. And in Australia, obviously, we had the Mardi Gras started because of what happened 50 something years ago in King's Cross, and we had it in South Australia. So we just had a memorial for someone whose life was taken a while ago, 50 years ago. So because of just on the basis of being, it's more accept that it's okay. Like, we've got a feast festival and we are able to get out and about and do stuff. So I just find I think it's 10 times, a million times more brave to be a transgender or queer person with other societal and cultural structures binding that as well. So I really thank you for your time.
Ritash or Oma, would you like to say anything? Thank you so much, Emily. Emily is a dear friend of mine and also really someone who's supportive and speaks about disability within journalism as well. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, Emily.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Emily was saying something?
No, I was just saying thank you.
Okay, yeah. Very quickly, first of all, thank you so much. I typed a message for everybody, but I will just read it out. It's been very affirming, very encouraging for us, and however much of community leadership and investment we do as individuals, we also love affirmation, need validation periodically. So this has been fantastic that way. Shukran, Shukriya, Dhanyavada to Huda, my dear. Okay, a friend for about couple of years now, and much more than that. Thank you. I noticed I guessed it must be your mom because
Yeah.
yeah, I connected the not just the surname but the affirmation message. Only moms will say those kind of things,
Yes.
right? So thank you, Auntie G, if I may, for joining. And if you don't mind, I would like to connect with Emily. Not that I don't want to connect with others, but because they write about disability justice and rights, and also are living with that with disabilities.
Oh, I would
Uh,
love that. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So Huda, if you could connect, or Emily can leave their email, that's also wonderful.
100%. I will do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because I also write and talk, and I've been talking a lot. It again, along my queerness, I also was discovering that I have multiple invisible disabilities. But anyway, invisibilized disabilities. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, my dear darling mom, Uma. Okay, she's my foster mom. All right. Foster mom, more than a mom, whatever. Okay. Yeah. So I have learned and unlearned and relearned so many things. Also, how to give care to my biological mother. Uma meets her
Oh,
almost once or twice a month. She comes home for some official things, and then she will first start with, "How's mom, Amma?" You
oh,
know?
how lovely. Your
Yeah,
Ritash's mom is absolutely lovely. I've said it
yeah.
on camera once, and
Yeah, yeah.
human
So
being.
Uma keeps reminding me, be patient, be loving with mothers. I know they are difficult sometimes, but
Oh my, you're a superstar. We love
yeah,
you. We
surely.
love people who love moms.
Yeah, yeah, right. And also, thank you all so much, because as you say, these are endless conversations, not just endless because who else which we have? I mean, it is ridiculous, but we don't know that the fate of the
Hey,
Nobel Peace.
Rhoda.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Uma was saying something. Yeah. And yeah, I'm specifically going to say this because today we are going to hear how the fate of the Nobel Peace Prize is going to be decided. And I hope it is not what we are all fearing it is going to be. And it might be a defining moment for the world. I know my partner, who's also neuroqueer, said, we all can rant on social media and the powers that we have already decided and that will happen. But I hope we are not left in that state. And because also this is a horrible time for trans rights across the world, it is a time for trans wrongs across the world, you know. So that is what I want to say. And again, thank you all so much. Very grateful. Shukriya. Again, this is a Hindi, Urdu, Hindustani word for thank you. Okay, coming from our heart, and hope we can engage further periodically and learn and share. I'm sure there's lots to learn from Anjum auntie, from Emily, from Dorothy, from people who have left, Kartiki and Shoma. Yeah,
Shoma
and yeah,
also, so yeah, Ritash, Shoma also said that Shoma wanted to connect. So anyone who wants to connect, here are their email addresses for Ritash as well as for Oma, and Sahara Sisters' email address is there too. If you are interested in bringing attention and also bringing community strength to these issues, please feel free to reach out through email. Sometimes it does take me a while to respond to emails because I'm juggling work and other things too. But that's what Shoma said. So feel free to reach out, Shoma, and connect with all of us. I will connect Emily and Ritash as well. I think it would be good for us to strengthen and also be allies and also be supporters, especially during this difficult time. And before I do hand it over to Oma to say some words and to sort of wrap it all up, Dorothy also said something. I'm just baffled by how weird some straight people are on why they won't accept blood donated by queer individuals, ban blood donations, like what they'd rather die. Um, so, yeah, I mean, these are such important things that I think one by one we should have more of these, and perhaps we should even collectivize as well. We're all spread out in different parts of the world. We all come from different backgrounds as well. I think it's a good chance for us to come together. Oma, before wrapping this up, मैं चाहती हूँ कि if you can say anything and concluding words, it would mean so much. And I'm so, so grateful for your time. Would you like to say anything, Oma?
No, Uma just said thank you to all. It's a great
Okay,
opportunity
okay,
to
okay.
talk with
Thank you
everybody.
so much, Uma. All right, everyone. I think I'm going to wrap this up and hopefully we will all meet again and soon. And do stay in touch. Thank you so much, Ritash and Uma. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, bye. Take care, and yes, much love and strength
Bye.
and support everybody. Huda, all the best with your later meeting.
Thank
Okay.
you so much. I really need it, Ritash. I'll make some chai and then I'll have a sip of chai and I'll WhatsApp you how it went.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Take care. All
Okay,
the
bye,
best.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.